Welcome back to another new video. I'm going to be talking about some of the steps that you need to follow in order to make a short film. I've made over 200 YouTube videos at this point, and when I was starting to try and actually begin making a short film and thinking about that process, I realized how much I don't know. You know, I might change my mind later on, but this is what I'm going to be following. I did some research. I think this will help you guys out, so if you're curious, keep watching. Step 1, finding a story. Now, even when it comes to making videos and stuff, sometimes it's so easy to forget that story is literally everything. You know, if you have a boring story, but the cinematography is beautiful, the casual viewer is not going to care. So you kind of have to keep that in mind, that this is arguably the most important step, because otherwise what's the point, you know? I have a couple ideas in mind that I've been wanting to make for a while now, but since this is my first ever short film and I'm currently still in semi-lockdown because you know, the amount of resources I have available to me right now are pretty limited, and I kind of just want to make something for fun and just try it so that the next time I make one it can be a little bit more higher production. When you're trying to come up with an idea, it's first important to know what your budget is and what resources you have available to you, because the worst thing is when you have a really big idea, it's really awesome, you get this cool image in your head, and then you realize, oh, I don't have money, I can't do that. Instead of digging yourself into that hole, you can still tell a really cool story even if you have a small budget. Step 2 is writing the script. Now, this is also something I've never really done before. I wrote a semi-script a month ago for a video I made that was inspired by Wes Anderson. If you haven't seen that video, I'll have it linked down below. I wrote a script, but it's not really an official script. It's not formatted correctly. I kind of just looked at a script and then tried to copy it, but I actually want to learn how to write one properly. Before you can even start writing a script though, you need to know how to kind of storyboard your story. Does that make sense? You kind of have to lay out your story. And actually, I can show you this. I was watching some videos not too long ago about what makes a good story and how to properly lay out a story so that it's engaging the entire time. And I found this video that talked about something called a story circle. I'll have it linked down below if you guys want to go watch it. And it was really helpful because it's kind of different than the 3-act narrative we see a lot of the time, which I think is kind of very loose, and the middle part is always very the 3-act narrative, you're okay, beginning, end, and then whatever happens in the middle, right? But the story circle is a little bit more in depth than that, so it's kind of helpful to see more steps. I'll have it up on screen right now. After you've got your main storyline finished and ready to go, it's time to write the script. So you can either do what I did last time and just use the Courier, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, font, and just kind of make it look fancy but not actually do the correct formatting. But I actually want to learn how to do it properly because, again, if I want to do this properly in the future, it's probably a good idea to learn. There's a certain skill to writing a screenplay that's different from writing a book or an essay, you know, you have to, I don't know the specific terminology for these things, but there's the headers with the location and the time and the little descriptions of what's going on, and then there's dialogue is separate, and there's a whole bunch of different formatting aspects that I don't really know how to do correctly, and I want to find out. Look out for a future episode. It'll probably be a complete one dedicated to writing a script. This is probably one of the biggest stages, and it's breaking down the script and budgeting. Last year I went to visit an HBO set. One of my dad's friends is a grip, and I was able to kind of tag along and see how a set works, and I was talking to some of the PAs who were working there and just kind of getting a feel for what it's like to be on set, because I've never been on set before. The biggest thing that I took away from that experience is just how organized it is. It's literally everything is down to a T. It's insane how organized you have to be when making a movie because everything's so dang expensive. So if you're not organized, you're losing money, you're losing time, and that's why it's really worth kind of putting in the work before you even get started shooting so that you can avoid any of those problems, any headaches, and kind of just have a shoot that goes smoothly without any hiccups. Or at least that's the goal. You know, there's bound to be something that messes up. How do you go from a piece of paper with a story on it to a plan to actually shoot a movie. So I did a little bit of research because I honestly didn't know. The first mini step is to create a script breakdown. So you kind of just go through the entire script, you kind of annotate your script, taking out any props, costumes, locations, actors are needed, crew that's needed, time, like all of that stuff, so that you can kind of have an idea of like what you're gonna need to shoot that specific scene. This is gonna require an entire video. Again, subscribe. But once you break down the script and kind of pull out like everything you're gonna need, it's time to make something called a strip board, which I did not even know existed until yesterday when I was doing research for this video. But basically what a strip board is, it leads to a shooting schedule. Normally it will group scenes either by location or by actors' availability or whatever makes most sense to condense it as much as possible. I feel like during this stage also you should be figuring out your budget once you've kind of pulled like all the things you're gonna need. Finally, step 4. The thing that we're all looking forward to is production. When it comes to actually like shooting a movie, I think pre-production is everything. If you're prepared, things will go a lot more smoothly. But there's a lot to learn also about like just how to manage a set. Obviously it depends on the size and budget of the film that you're making, but for example, for my first one, I'm probably gonna be doing everything. So, but I still want to learn more about like the different roles of people on set, what everyone does, what it means to like be a good director, because it's an important job and I just want to learn more about what it takes to be like a good one so that I can be a good one. Okay, what am I even talking about? Step number 5 is post-production. So this is just editing, color grading, adding sound effects, and maybe adding special effects if you want. This part I personally have the most experience with since I have been making YouTube videos for a while now. I don't need to teach myself how to edit or how to color grade or use sound effects or any of that really, but one thing I do want to learn more about is special effects, because I've been thinking about this lately. Like, how do directors know like what the special effects things that they're gonna need? Because think about these Marvel movies and stuff. There's so much green screen, there's so much like special effects involved. Like, how do directors actually know what they're gonna need or like how they're gonna shoot this if they're not extremely knowledgeable in special effects? So I think learning more about the range of special effects, like what's easy to do, what's hard to do, is important to know or at least have a little bit of experience with. So maybe I'll try and like actually learn a little bit of special effects just so that if one day I'm working with a project that requires special effects, I'll kind of know like, oh, that's easy to fix or that would be really expensive to fix, and it can help make those decisions as you're shooting. I think it's really important to also get like unbiased, genuine feedback from people, whether that's friends or family or creator friends, like getting feedback from a wide range of people and being open to the idea of changing some things is definitely something I'm gonna do if I have time. Guys, we made it to the final step. Step 6, distribution. So this one is kind of different depending on what it is that you're doing. This first one I'm going to be posting on YouTube, obviously. I don't really want to submit to festivals just yet, even though that is an option. This first one is kind of going to be like a practice run, and then we'll go from there, you know? I think the internet is a great way to get your work out there. Literally recently I found this guy called, his name is David Sandberg, and he made a short on YouTube like 5 or 6 years ago, and eventually he got picked up and turned into like an actual feature. So you literally never know. Obviously that's a rare case, but we can all have hope, right? But it's definitely not a bad idea to post it online. Okay, that's kind of my breakdown on how to make a short film. I hope you guys found this helpful and interesting, and if you're curious and you want to see me go through this process and actually make a short film for the first time, make sure you click that subscribe button. I feel like this is gonna be really fun, so I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or tips for me or anyone else, leave them in the comments. I just wanted to pop in real quick for anyone who's still watching. If you're still watching, thank you. I just wanted to let you know like what type of content I want to be making going forwards, because I didn't post for 2 weeks, which is really weird for me. I'm trying to figure out a new style of making videos that is not only fun for me but also helpful for you guys. I think in the past with my channel it's been about like documenting my journey, and I still want to do that, but I want to focus more on like providing value for you through my own like interests, if that makes sense. So for example, I've wanted to make a short film for a long time, but I kind of want to be more like helpful let me know what you guys think about this new format, style of video. Yeah, I'm kind of just trying new things out, so I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, thanks for sticking around. If you're still watching, what are you doing? There's so many other things you could be doing right now, but I appreciate it. And I'll see you soon with another video. See you soon with another new video. Bye!